That's got to be the earliest we've been in a long time. Look at that. Look at that.
That clock's a minute
15
fast.
minutes.
No, it's 3 minutes past by my machine.
It was 2 minutes past when I said it, dickhead.
3 minutes past, yeah.
Are
We
you
don't even know what to do now.
I've got no idea.
Well, I don't even know what to do now.
I don't know.
It's not normal.
It's like
We'll
an extra
just-
10 minutes to fill.
Let's just sit here in silence and just wait for 4 more people to arrive.
How many people we got watching?
18.
That was, yeah.
18.
18.
Oh, I suppose we can give them some content.
We could.
How are we all?
We could. Where's the fun in that? This is all Cassie's following. Oh, you guys haven't met.
No.
No.
Awkward.
He looks like this man approached me in the public toilets once and tried to shake my hand while I was having a piss.
Right, so last week we got all the insults out of the way at the very beginning. Let's do the same this week. Just let it out.
Do it. Do your carpet match your curtains?
No.
They don't.
Next. Next. Come on. See if you can do any that weren't done last week.
When did they cancel your role on Heroes?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Around the time of the writer's strike.
How is Claire?
How is who?
Claire, cheerleader.
Oh,
Save
yeah.
the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah, no, okay, it's been a while. Yeah, she's alright. She's like pregnant now, isn't she?
Where did you find it?
Where'd you find what?
Your soul.
Hey!
Oh, I never had one.
Oh, you're not a
I
fair
just
play.
collect other people's.
Who's playing Fortnite in the background?
It's Overwatch.
Oh, fuck Overwatch. Fucking Overwatch. Anyway, yeah. Hi,
Vaping.
There we
I'm
go.
Chris.
Mark, knock Cass up a touch on the audio console. Told you.
Well, he went and got a pop filter, moved the mic closer to his mouth, and we went live, and the mic was further away from his mouth than it was before, so it's kind of his own doing.
Can you still hear me?
Is that
This the
Pennywise on
question.
your mantelpiece or a self-portrait?
Ooh. Wait a second.
Hang on, I need to look.
I think he's getting it. I think he's getting it.
No.
My other half made that.
Did she?
Yeah?
Can she make one of me?
There is not enough felt in the world to make one of you.
Wow. I once ate a whole pack of fuzzy felts. Do you remember them? Fuzzy felt.
What
That's
happened?
a boss.
Did you have to go to the
What happened
doctors,
to-
Chris?
Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah.
That's so nice on there.
So, how are we, Ed Sheeran?
Ed shit. Oh my days. Wow.
Is that fresh? Or?
Where's glasses?
Yeah,
Where's
that is
glass?
fresh. That is fresh. We
You
didn't have that
still-
last week.
I mean, to be fair, you're starting to look a bit like Jono with that greasy hair, Mark, so
Did
you
you-
can't say nothing.
Did you go there? Did you go to
What?
the Tubby Fair?
I went to the barbers. I'm like you greasy bastard.
I'm not. I am sweating. I'm literally piss wet through. I don't know if you can see it. That sweat. Sweat.
Oh, here we go.
Just as Jono comes in.
Look at the devil and his shallop here. So how are we all?
I'm good. It's been a while, Chris. You've skived off the past few weeks, haven't you? And then ended up on Endless Banter. I know how it
Yeah,
is.
well, Tuesday ended up being a shit day for me, and Wednesday just happened to be slightly better. It wasn't my fault. I ended up...
Whatever.
I've got a genuine excuse. You probably told him I got stuck in a doorway or something. But I actually gave someone £1,000 in cash for a car on Saturday. She got pissed and went home with it. and it was for a car. And I called up her other half and was like, right, can we sort this car out? And he goes, about that, I need you to come round and speak to me. So I says to Mark, I might be a little bit late. I'm going to pop round and have a word about this car, presuming one of two things had happened. One, he had tried to fix something on it or do something up on it and fucked it, so the car was fucked, or she'd lost this purse full of money. I was shitting myself that it was either, because I needed a second car. I've just got another job, so further away, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that they had had a row and they weren't speaking for 2 days. And in that time, she had not told him I'd bought the car and he'd gone and fucking sold it. So then it turns out there was 50 quid missing out the money, which I don't know whether I didn't give her that 50 quid or whether she spent it or lost it or what happened. Fuck knows.
She drank it.
So then he had felt so bad that whole day. He'd spent the whole time sourcing another one for me, and it turned out to be nearly 2 hours away from my house.
Ouch.
So I was going to miss most of the show anyway, going 2 hours to get this fucking car, until so all the way there, he's promising me that he will drive this new car back, and I'll get to drive his car, which I've wanted to do for a while. So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. He's got a nice new Golf. I thought, yeah, that'll be a right laugh. Giving that a fucking ram up the old country lane. Do you know what I mean? And we got about a mile away from this guy's house, and he got a fucking puncture. Well, a little light come up on the dashboard, and he said, "Oh, I think the sensor's broke. It keeps telling me I've got a puncture." And I said, "Are you sure that it's broke?" I says, "Because I can smell rubber." So he pulls over, and in the time that it must have been about a quarter of a mile. In that time, it had fucking torn a hole all the way around the inside of his fucking tyre. So then we had to stop just before it got dark as well. Bearing in mind we wanted to see the car in the light, and it was getting dark. We had to stop and put a fucking run flat tyre on it, whatever they are, the 50-mile-an-hour ones. So I ended up driving all the way back 2.5 hours in a fucking car that I couldn't take over 50 mile an hour. It was bullshit. That's why I wasn't on last week. So fuck you, and fuck you again.
That's pretty much the story I told, that you'd had a bit of an emergency, you needed to go and get a car. You assumed I said you got stuck in a doorway. I said no such thing. Did I, Cass?
No,
Well,
he did say something car-related.
Every time I miss a fucking show, you tell someone I've had a heart attack and killed over, or I ran out of goose fat and couldn't get myself out the bath, or
Are these previous excuses?
Yeah. He ran out of insulting excuses, and he just decided to go for the truth this time.
No one believes us, though. That's the problem. Go back and watch the transcript to see what people actually said.
Yeah. Oh, I got stuck in the bath, didn't I? What are you vaping on?
Who's that directed at?
Oh, either of you two cunts. There's only 3 of us.
You go first, Mark.
Me? I've realised I've left my minikin in the bedroom. Babe? Could you go see if you could locate my minikin, please?
Babe? Normally you call her cunt.
Usually. I don't know where it is. It says usually you call her cunt, and I said usually. There's a minikin somewhere. I am running on my Hurricane Junior this evening.
I thought you said Hurricane Katrina then.
Hurricane.
Can we do that?
What?
Like, add our names? I can't remember how you do it on here. Lower thirds.
You can't easily. I'll have to do it from this end. But hang on. Here we go. Hello, my name's Mark.
I am Cass.
And he's fat.
Where's my lower third gone? I've just put one on.
Savage.
Anyway, so...
Going?
Oh my word, I don't know.
You should have one. Do you know what?
Well, you've
I'm
not.
just going to do this.
Hello, Bangle.
Hello, George.
Zippy, Zippy. Hang on, left hand side is the giraffe, top right Cass, bottom right Moni. I was actually going to compliment Chris on losing weight, but he hasn't.
I wonder whether Ugandan Knuckles will make a reappearance and start calling us communists again.
Anyway, Hurricane Junior, Scottua.
Where'd you dig that relic out of?
Cludy lemonade. Huh?
Scottua.
I actually found it earlier.
In a skip?
Yeah, that is actually alright. Don't abuse the Scottua.
Why can I not find a lower third? There must be one.
I'll go with what I'm vaping on, I guess.
Do it.
So I'm using my daily beta, the Vupu Drag, and I have a goon on top, which is lovely.
Which goon is it?
It is the V1 goon, the original one in stainless, and I've got a nice little SQ tip, the signature tips tip, and I think I'm running. Yeah, I've got a pair of aliens in here made by a friend of mine, a guy called Jay Stearman. You can find him on Instagram. He actually makes really nice coils. He doesn't sell them, he just makes them for himself and like mates and stuff, but they're really nice. I've had those for about 6 weeks now. And the tube on there is by a company called Hylic. I'm reviewing their stuff at the moment. And that one's called Bonfire Country. It's like a marshmallow and berry, like toasted marshmallow and berry.
Very nice.
Can you ask me an audio question? Yes, you can ask me an audio question.
Why does it sound so shit?
Yes. There we go. Other stuff I'm vaping on. I have the Vulcan 1 again. With the AFC cap, and that actually has UK.
How have you got an AFC cap?
Because I'm incredible, and I went to Vape Fest.
Oh, fair enough.
So, and thank you, Keith. I appreciate that.
How many new subs did you get from last week's show?
Well, at the beginning of last week's show, I was on about 375. I'm now 395.
Hey.
So 20 new subs is fantastic.
And those of you that aren't following, that aren't subscribed, this is Cass. Get subscribed.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Videos, I've had a couple go up this week on the UK Lab stuff. I've got a steeped one going up next week. It's just all juice stuff. It's going to be fun. There will be one going up on the AFC cap as well. But I've got to find the time to do that properly, because that's going to take a little while. What you don't realise is how a lot of people don't realise anyway. You guys do probably realise is just how time intensive doing reviews is.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's shit and you're just trying to find a nice way of telling people without breaking their hearts. Not saying that you do.
I honestly can't tell if that was sarcastic or not.
You will never know.
Right.
There you go. Did you know that Chris helped design that? That's why he's crying.
I feel very special now. Bloody hell.
You look it.
Well,
I'm not bothered about you having one. I've got two. It's not that. I just didn't know how you'd got one.
Oh, if you've got
yeah,
two. If you've got two, Chris, can I have one?
Stu literally gave me one at Vape Fest. That's why.
I'll send you one.
Chris JB probably hungry. I like that.
Have I just dropped Stu in it or something?
No.
No. It's just I've known if he was giving them out willy nilly to any old ginger, I'd have taken 3. I'm joking.
So recently in May, I got a job to vape shop. Found out we're vending at Manchester Expo. Now I've been asked to work it. Win. Well, any consolation, will be there too, and I'll be working as well. So pop by.
As long as it's not at the ICOS vape shop.
Yeah. In which case we're hacking your screens. Chris, what are you vaping on? This will be over quickly.
Billy Box, 45 milligram Nixel, and this.
Is that a blackout?
Yeah.
You see, I got a blackout in white. Oh, that doesn't help, does it? I got a blackout in white.
I've got one of them too. But in this, I've got possibly my favourite juice ever. What is it, Mark?
Is it rhubarby?
Yeah. Strawberry rhubarb tobacco. I would tell you who makes it, but I don't know. Some bloke in Canada. It's amazing. Amazing.
Pete, Mark, I got a Hurricane today. What's your It Just Makes Me Happy build? My Just Makes Me Happy build is a 0.3 fused NI. I think it's a 26 fused 38 ish. Yeah, I think that's what makes the Hurricane sing, in my opinion.
Does anyone have like a standard build, like without all the fancy stuff, just the standard build that no matter what you put it in, you can rely on it to be good? What was
This 6 wrap 3 mil
Hot
21
wires.
21 gauge Y Doctor.
Is that Nichrome?
No, it's 317L stainless.
Ooh.
No matter what it goes in, it's amazing.
How about yours, Cass?
Mine is very similar. It's actually 22 gauge spaced Canthol, 6 wraps.
Nah, see, that's not low enough for me if I'm going to be using a tube.
If I'm singling it, it's like 0.25. If I double, it's about 0.15. 0.1.
Is it quite cool?
Yeah, it will be.
It is fairly cool. If you put it for Nichrome, you get a little bit more heat out of it. But the thing is, it's not about necessarily being hot or cold. Is that I know it works well in everything as like a test standard. So obviously it has to physically fit, but it works well, I find.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, I like Y Doctor, but the 21, the 19 gauge is just too hot for me these days.
Yeah.
21 is not hot enough. The 23 is not hot enough. So the 21 is obviously the best choice for me. And then 6 wraps. I used to do 5, but I found that that's too hot now. So yeah, 6 wrap, 3 mil, it's perfect. Go.
Does the job well. Yeah, you don't have to turn me up more. I'll just move closer. Sorry.
I turned you up anyway.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, it's that rhubarb strawberry tobacco is just incredible.
That's what Max had, didn't he? At the last expo, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Then he was like, "Oh, you know the guy," and he told me his name. I was like, "Yeah, I do know the guy." So I messaged the guy and got some of the stuff. And it's fucking amazing. But I mean, I've let it steep now, so it's like a nice sort of caramelly brownie colour.
Gotta love that steep colour.
Yeah, it was pretty clear when I first... Not clear, but not like this.
No.
Firing. Right.
You want clear? This is a bottle. This is another bottle Stu slung me. That's unnicked Hakucho. Hasn't been nicked up yet. That's clear as day.
Oh.
Put the nick. Give it 2 days with nick in. It'll be black.
It's more tobacco-y It's more like a strawberry tobacco, like a subtle hint of rhubarb. Very, very, very complex. And I know that's a term that gets thrown around all the time these days, but you get different notes on the inhale, exhale. So on the inhale, you get like a fruitiness. On the exhale, and like the lingering aftertaste, it's very tobacco-y. Which is quite nice because it makes you feel like, well, it's kind of what I get out of like a billet box. You can feel the nicotine in your mouth and you can feel it in your system with a 45 milligram. With this, it kind of gives you that taste like you've had your nicotine. Does that make sense?
You see, we've had quite a few requests to release the Jeffries range in a concentrate. Just as
I've had quite a few requests from me to send me the fucking rhubarb and ginger gin.
Rhubarb and ginger gin. If you want a bottle, go on jeffriesvintagevapes.co.uk and use the code VTUK for 10% off your order and free shipping. But if your name's Chris, I'll send some over.
No, you won't. I'll be better off fucking ordering it, to be honest. I'm gonna fucking order it. And then what you do is just chuck a load of extra stuff in when you actually get the order shipped out.
That seems fair enough.
Why would I search Jeffrey's Vintage Vape? Is it like the 5th one down?
Because the website for Jeffrey's Vintage Vape is actually relatively new. Everything either went through another website or Vape-esque. There you go. Sam's saying get the root beer. Matt, sort my fucking mod out. Please. Pretty please. With the cherry on top.
Find when they order like anything off like vape websites and they're like, okay, so this is your amount and then here's your shipping. Oh, and now we'll add the VAT like after the shipping.
I've forgotten how to order off vape sites, to be honest.
It's like, yeah, we'll cheaply add the VAT after the shipping, so it's just that little bit more expensive.
But to be fair, we're subject to VAT.
Mark, you've sent me this fucking website. It's not even on here.
What isn't? What? What?
Oh wait, maybe.
I'm gonna go.
jeffriesvintagevape.co.uk.
Got it. Found it. I told you, I forgot how to use these websites.
Don't do that to me.
Where's the code section?
When you get to checkout.
What about if you're using PayPal checkout?
It'll still come up on the same screen, I think.
There's a man who knows his website.
It's his fucking website. You should know it.
You'd be surprised at the amount of people I've dealt with that have no idea how their website is laid out.
To be fair, the Vape-esque website and our other website, I set up, so I should know it really.
Fair enough. So, what interesting things have people seen this week in the world of vaping?
Oh, don't get me started on the BBC. Don't
got like
get
an hour
me started.
Wait, what's the discount code?
VTUK.
Shall I start you off then?
Go on, start me off.
Right, so I think I mentioned this to you earlier today, actually. Basically,
Wait a minute, I'm being fleeced here.
Why?
It doesn't. VTUK is not giving me a discount.
Stick 10 on the end. VTUK 10.
Right, I probably read about 2 or 3 BBC reports a week on vaping, right? And every single one of them contradicts the previous one. Now, they're nice and vague, so they'll say some studies.
Sub-studies, I love that. Sub-studies.
Right, some
Don't
studies.
fucking even get me started on some studies, or studies suggest, or studies indicate, because that doesn't fucking mean nothing, does it, cunts?
No.
Studies show is a definitive answer. Studies show X. So the studies show X means studies show us.
Right, carry on, Cass. I've muted him.
Right, okay, so going like I said, they were really vague. They always like to throw in the Royal Society of Health or the Health Trust or any of these people and say it's still better than smoking. And yes, obviously, it's still better than smoking. But the point is they never show their references like any article that has any kind of weight behind it would be expected to do. They never give. It's fine to say some studies see Fig 1 and then link it to that particular study, right? But it's so vague that it's just open to enough interpretation that people like to go, actually, no, I still believe the fact that it's worse for you than smoking because nobody really knows what's going on. And actually, if they went out and found the studies, in fact, can you find that link you sent me to that study earlier and bang it in the chat?
Which study? The BBC study or the actual study?
The actual study. The one you sent me 2 links, one to the BBC page and then one to the...
Yep, bear with me a second. In fact, Badger might be able to get it quicker because Badger sent it to me. Excuse me.
But and then this is the thing is, right, I mean, I get people walking past my work because I do work in a vape shop and people go, oh, it's worse for you than smoking, that is. Oh, but they don't really know what's in it, do they? And it's like, this isn't some magical substance from the world of beyond. Like, this is scientifically made. We know exactly what's in it. And the individual effects, I mean, I had one woman today, she goes, okay, so I need something that has max VG in it. And we're like, okay, that's fine, we can do that. People like that. She goes, yeah, but I've been working with chemicals for years and it can't have propylene glycol in because that's essentially petrol.
And she's been working with chemicals for years, right?
Yeah, so basically propylene glycol is a synthetic derivative of something called propyl oxide. I think it's called propyl oxide. Now, propyl oxide does come from a petroleum base, but the amount of refining it goes through to get to that stage means that basically saying this plastic vape, it's basically petrol. I'm vaping on petrol right now. You know, the amount of misinformation out there is just mind-blowing. And vague BBC articles, which they come out with contradicting themselves all the time. Being neutral is not just contradicting yourself.
What rattled my piss? I was in the shop earlier. And I think Keith had got Radio 1 on or something like that. And
he's a BBC Radio 4 man, isn't he?
Definitely. I heard the word vaping, and it was Newsbeat or something like that. And they were proper ripping into vaping. Well, we don't really... Almost as though they were encouraging people not to vape and carry on smoking. I'm like, what the actual fuck? You know what? The BBC in Leicester, I've lost count the amount of times I've been on there. They've either been into the show and done a live show.
All right. We'll send you a request for autographs later.
But no, that's what I'm saying. In Leicester, they're absolutely fantastic. Leicester, they're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Leicester City Council are absolutely banging for vaping. Stop smoking, stop smoking, stop smoking, try vaping, blah, 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 blah. You get to the Nationals, and they're all over it. Like, oh no, we don't know what the long-term effects are. Well, I've been vaping for 5 years, and I'm, okay, relatively long-term, surely.
I think the problem is that they'll print absolutely anything that they think will get coverage. Like, for instance, my workplace is currently in the process of closing. I had a call from a newspaper saying, we hear you're shutting down. I says, yeah. He goes, can I ask why that is? I says, because the owner wants to sell the building. He's like, oh, okay, no worries. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Front page.
No. Basically, because there was no scandal and there was nothing that he could fucking milk some hits out of online, he wasn't interested, cunt.
The thing that gets me, did anyone hear the Radio 2 interview with a vape shop owner about 6 weeks ago? No. And the dude I think the dude had like a pen device on him, he had like a sub-box style kit on him, he had a few various things on him. And the thing was, it's like he was dumbing it down to the lowest common denominator, to the point where it really didn't actually explain anything. Now, it's not this dude's fault. Like, he will have been told to do that. And it's not his fault. But the point is, if we dumb it down to the lowest common denominator, no one will ever gain any understanding of it. Ever. Because they'll just go, oh, it's not smoking. And that's the equivalent of what they get. And I think you've got to treat people like not idiots in order for them to understand that it is something.
the thing is, they go away, right, and they'll run a point 0.4 Cleto coil, right? It's 140 watts, right?
Excellent.
And smolder the fuck out of it, and then say, "Oh, you want to see all the chemicals that come off it?" What fucking gimp would do that? What fucking gimp would burn? Okay, I know a few that would, but on a day-to-day basis, how many people would try and do a 40-second hit on a Cleto at 180 watts? Do you know what I mean? And they're taking those results as gospel.
That's like saying this car's emissions are terrible, but we ran it with no petrol and no oil in the engine.
Exactly.
You know, it's just infuriating. And until they take, it's like what we said last week with people taking us seriously. Until they do serious tests and the media actually listen to people in the know, nothing will happen as far as the mainstream media.
Nah.
So get into bricks and mortar shops and get real information off real people who know.
To be fair, there are some bad B&Ms as well.
Oh, 100%. A little story here. I know I'm sort of talking a lot right now, but a little story. I went into an unnamed London vape shop, and I said, I had a mech on me, and I said, "Do you mind just banging this in your charger, telling me what the voltage is?" And he goes, "Don't you mean watts?" And I said, No, voltage of a battery." And he goes, "You measure your batteries in voltage and not watts." I'm like, well, it's a mechanical device with a battery. You don't measure a battery in watts. And yeah, so you're
you
right.
should have said, "And you measure your batteries with watts." What? 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 What?
Oh dear. He was behind the counter. I mean, the lad was probably, they're never got hope. And not selling. Actually, this place sold noisy crickets, so there's no hope for any of us.
Don't upset Chandler.
I love the noisy cricket.
Just in the right hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it, Christopher?
It kind of pisses me off a lot, really. It's generally like with anything, you'd see them say they'd ask the whole population of the UK how many people vape, and then they'll pop up something like this bad boy. We're like, this is the population of people who actually agree with vaping. It's like, no, actually, that's the entire population of the country, and that's how many people vape, and that's how many that don't. But they choose how they plan on representing their data based on how much it benefits them for their story. So they'd pop up something like this, and they'd say 12.9 million people disagree with vaping, and 2.4 million people agree with vaping in London. And it's like, well, actually, probably this is representative of the vapors in London versus the non-vapors. No, it's definitely how many people hate vaping versus how many people that like vaping. And then that's where you get a news story from. And then some fucking moron sees that and shares it, and then his mate shares it, and then 16 people in vape groups who share it, and they share it because the title says, "Look at this bullshit," or whatever. But because they've shared it with no context, people then see it and take what they want from it, and we end up with bullshit on the front page of every fucking newspaper because mate told his pal, and his pal told his pal, and his pal told his pal, and in the end the news reporter saw that and didn't understand what the fucking graph was representing, and now everyone thinks that everyone hates vaping. And it just becomes that sort of situation with everything, really. I mean, the only person, and I genuinely mean it, out of news-related, to do with vaping, is this guy. Let me just find this.
So what your stats show then, Chris, is that vaping will make your legs fall off.
Exactly.
Oh, we're fucked then.
Vaping will give you herpes, because, there's 10 million people in England that have herpes, and there's 10 million vapors, so it must be them.
And that's it, and they're all cunts, so...
Yeah, exactly. How do I share my screen?
You just did it.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know. I just... What, that graph thing?
Yeah.
I know that was... something else. That's through something else. Here we go. Let's find it. Where the fuck is it? There we go. This guy. This is the only guy I want to take any vaping advice off.
This is incredible.
He's brilliant. He is brilliant.
You hear this?
No.
No. We'll just look at his beautiful little face for a couple of seconds.
Let me download it and I'll share it. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but let me pull it down. What's the title of the clip?
Honda Racer.
James, where are you from?
I'll pay some. It's James from London.
What part of London are you from? Central London. Ludgate. Ah. I drove down here today, actually. I drove down in my Honda Park. Ah. Which was lovely. Yeah.
Let's get this graph back up.
Chris, stop it.
I don't know how to.
Right. What year is your car?
Shut up, James.
What with his road legal Lamborghini engine?
Ferrari Enzo, mate.
Oh yeah, that's it. Road legal slicks. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, man.
To be honest, the jargon bullshit he was talking, he knows more about cars than I do.
No, fair enough. The thing is, right, with this thing, has anyone ever seen the Daily Mail list of things that give you cancer? Right? If you haven't, Google it. It'll probably be like the first or second link. And there's this monstrous list with a link to every news article from the Daily Mail about how that particular thing gives you cancer. It's going to be like that with vaping.
One was bacon. And I eat a lot of bacon. I've got cancer yet, so...
One was being a woman. One was not being a woman. Right?
This is where gender fluidity saves your life.
Yeah. Yeah, you just avoid it that way. But this is what I'm saying, is they're coming out with all this bollocks, and it just contradicts itself because they can't decide what stance they want to take on it.
I'm really liking the fact I can make graphs now.
Reading the Daily Mail gives you cancer. Yeah, true. I had to kick a racist out the shop today. That was fun.
How do you know he was racist?
Some of the things that she said were beyond civil conversation. That I was just like, nah, get out.
Fucking
Not the best, it instant burns. I don't think my core can actually run at it. Nope, my core can't run at it. I can do it the highest, which is 100, you know? Got to drip it instantly, no? It's good though, I love my e-cig.
I've seen it all now.
Yeah.
What's your name?
James.
Where are you from, James?
London.
Good man. What part? What part of London are you from?
Central London, Ludgate.
Ah.
So I drove down here today, actually. I drove down in my Honda Type R.
Ah.
Which was lovely.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let me in my car in today because it's not a classic.
Oh.
Fuck off. It is a classic.
Right. And what year is your car?
2002.
Sorry?
2002. But it's got 50 grand's worth of customisation onto it.
Right. So what mods did you make to it?
It's got a Lamborghini exhaust system on it.
Yeah.
Ferrari Enzo engine.
Ferrari Enzo engine.
It's powerful. It's got. I've put 2 turbos on it.
Yeah.
With 4 superchargers, so it's got runs brake horsepower. It has 750.
Yeah.
It's a powerful car.
So it must be very hard to control on the road, is it?
In this weather, it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not driving it over 7. I'm not driving it over 80 today because I know it'll crash it because it's got slick tyres on it, road legal slick tyres.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of mods on it. It's got surround sound in it.
Yeah.
Bose one. It's got in the boot. It's got a DJ table on it.
Ah. Listen, very nice talking to you.
You too. It's crazy.
Amazing.
Are you related?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes and then no.
We've just insulted his brother.
And my
Yeah,
brother's
I
a
love
jeweler.
this new graph thing. I'm going to keep this going. We asked 1,000 vapors whether Stu from Vulcan Bros should get rid of his top knot. Here's the results.
Wait, how are you doing this? I am intrigued.
Because I'm a fucking genius.
That was funny.
I was going to put, who the fuck is that guy? But I couldn't fit it all in the little box.
And how would you spell goy?
G-O-I. That'll do.
Anyway, where were we?
We're talking about
something about
bullshit mainstream
arseholes
media.
Yeah.
You were talking about bending statistics to suit their...
I think the point is, science as a whole is about disproving theories. Proving and disproving theories. And the only way to prove a theory is by disproving all of the other variables. And the problem is that halfway through any analytics, any type of investigation, any hypotheses that are being tested, halfway through or at any point during that stage, you can find something which leans towards your argument being correct and stop there.
I've got to say, Chris, that was a very good word for you.
Sorry, you froze then. Don't freeze when you compliment me.
That was an extremely good and long word, that.
No, but it's true, though. At any point, you can stop during your research and steer it towards whatever angle you want.
Yeah.
And researchers tend to do that because what they do is they see something going viral, they see something being shared a lot, and they want to look into it. They do a Google search, they find 2 or 3 articles, they're all sort of indicating one thing, and then that's their article. Instead of saying, their headline will be something like, research suggests vaping is bad for you, instead of, my Google search found one bloke who was angry at a vape shop. That's essentially all it is.
Yeah.
And the problem being is that anything can look as good or as bad as you want it to on paper. But the problem that you have is it's the same thing with Facebook reviews. This is what pisses me off. If you're not going to spend every single time something is amazing, say it's a restaurant or a shop or whatever, every time their customer service is great, every time their products are great, every time everything is great, you don't ever leave a review. But then the one time they missed something from your order, or your food was a bit late, or it was a bit cold, or I don't know, the fucking waiter was a bit pissed off that day and was a bit rude to you, you then go and write a 52-page essay on how shit the place is. Then it has such an impact on that person's business.
But the thing is, right, Chris, if you have amazing customer service, how many people do you tell?
What do you mean?
If you go into Tesco's, if you go into Sainsbury's, if you go into Marks and Spencer's, if you go to Waitrose, whatever, it doesn't matter. And if you have an amazing experience, you have an amazing customer service, how many people do you tell?
It depends. Because I live in a small town. So you're often being asked by tourists, you're often being asked by strangers, oh, I've not been there before, what's it like? So a lot of the time, I am telling people. But I don't go out of my way to go and say, oh, by the way, you look like you're not from round here, mate. That fucking shop is top notch. Tesco's, they've got fucking everything you need. I don't do that. But at the same time, when I'm with my mates, we're having a beer, we're just chilling out, whatever, and they say, how's your week been? And I've had a fucking, I don't know, a pube in my fucking cheeseburger, I'll tell them. But the thing is, I'm not the sort of person that will go onto Facebook and put up a fucking 52-page essay about how shit somewhere is because the customer service is bad. Generally, I will go to management or the owner or whoever's there and be like, this geezer's being a knob, he's clearly jizzed in my sandwich, I want my money back. And then it's over and done with.
He jizzed in my sandwich.
Whatever.
Did you see this one? Oh, shall I readjust that?
Yeah.
Let me read it to you. I've lost my screenshot now. Where did my fucking screenshot go?
I'm proper running out of space on my desk.
So, from the Independent in the past week, vaping disables the lungs cleaning systems and could cause chronic disease. Study finds.
So could playing in mud, but I did that as a kid. So could licking a 9-volt battery, but my dad made me do that every time to test if I was lying. So could all sorts of shit. So could being near cleaning chemicals or going on a bus in London because the fucking one, it's covered in tramp's piss, and two, fucking the emissions in London are ridiculous. Anything could kill you. It's about. I watched a documentary on Netflix called The Dark Tourist. Right?
Unbelievable. I'm watching that at the moment.
It's fucking so good. But it's about a guy that basically goes to all these dark tourist hotspots, like Charles Manson's followers' houses and fucking all these different places, right?
Like nuclear radiation sites and stuff.
Is it Kawashima? Where there was an atom bomb dropped fucking in the 80s or 70s, whatever. And the whole place is a nuclear radiation zone, and it's got plenty of exclusion zones, and they've got places which are declared safe to re-enter. Now, some places had a Geiger counter reading 10 times that of Chernobyl, which is probably
was this on? Did you watch this on Netflix?
Yes,
we watched this the other week. Yeah, Fukushima.
So, yeah, the Geiger counter reading in many of the places was 10 times that of Chernobyl, for those people that know what Chernobyl is. But all I took away from that, forgetting all of the interesting shit you saw on it, the main thing I took from that is when they were sitting down to eat in a safe to return to zone. And it was still had a radiation reading. I think it was comparable to Chernobyl. And they said, the guy said, is all of this stuff sourced locally? Because surely all the food would be radiated. And the translator / tour guide / bloke just says, life's too short to be worried about that. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? It makes so much sense. He said stressing about it doesn't do anything but cause you stress. And the fact is that actually we do that in everyday life. Everything we do, we take for granted the implications of it. Especially like as a kid, there's loads of stupid shit I did as a kid. Like once, I said about this on Endless Banter last week. Like once, my little brother was trying to steal a slice of my pizza, so he waited outside for the pizza man to come before I got there. I was in the house. I locked the front door. He went round to the back door, locked the back door. The bloke come, delivered the pizza to the front. He came back round, banging on the door. I opened the door and slapped him in the face with a boiling hot piece of pizza. That could have been so fucking dangerous. It could have. I threw a handful of compost in my sister's eye when she was about 10. We had to go to hospital and get chunks of compost out from behind her eyeball. Could have blinded her. But you don't think about. But taking it into a more adult life comparison, if you work with heavy machinery, or you're building lift shafts, or you're doing X, Y, and Z, at any point you doing something irresponsibly could kill you. Yeah. A cleaner. If a cleaner decides that bleach doesn't go on the floor, it goes in my mouth, it could kill her. But you know not to. And the fact is that 80%, 90%, I dare to even say 100% of vaping-related issues have been caused by lack of knowledge, lack of research, lack of interest in doing either. And it's user error. At 80-90% of the time, probably even closer to 100%. And the fact of the matter is that you wouldn't drive a car, well, people do, but you wouldn't drive a car as a rule without knowing how to drive a car. You wouldn't fucking stick your kid in a sink when there's a food, what are they called?
So I'm laughing at Stu.
But do you know what I mean? There's so many variables into every single situation in life that we overlook. Everything is dangerous. Everything could kill you. But the fact is that...
back of what you were saying about Dark Tourist and stats being like manipulated, right? There's a scene in Dark Tourist where they go to a Russian nuclear test site and they see this lake.
Yes.
And the lake is like, this water is 100 times more radioactive than normal water. It's like, normal water is not very radioactive. So 100 times a very small amount is still a very small amount. But 100 times sounds really, it sounds really dramatic. So it's like, oh, it looks like they're going to turn green and grow a third eye just by swimming in it. Actually, no, it's the same radiation as if it's just come out the microwave. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the other thing, is with radiation's half-life, it's the rule of 7, 7, and 7, right? So a nuclear bomb goes off, 7 hours later, it's 90% less radioactive than when it went off. Like, do the research before you get all scared about it.
Yeah. But the fact is, there's so much scaremongering in the news these days, and often it's to buy stuff. There's a really cool book cover I saw put up on a GIF the other day, and it was like a book about subliminal messages, and it had like laminated, "Hey, you sexy, buy this book, you know you want to," and you could only see it when you tilted it towards the light and saw the laminated words. And I thought that was really clever. But in the same way, everything is a scare tactic, and I think a lot of the time it aids sales. So I'm pretty sure if we had a genuine statistical evidence that was like, I don't know, when a hosepipe ban is up in the news, what the sale of hosepipes would be like in comparison. I would like to see that sort of research done. So like when they put in the news, I don't know, tap water is 95% more dangerous than bottled water. I'd like to see, of people that read that article, how many of them bought a bottle of water that week instead of used it out the tap. Do you know what I mean? Just little things like that, because the whole world is based on consumerism. People don't buy doorbells with cameras in unless they're scared about people robbing their house. They wouldn't be scared about people robbing their house if no one's ever robbed their house, unless loads of news articles are talking about people robbing people's houses, or their friends are all. Then all of a sudden it's a good idea to go and buy a doorbell with a camera in it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
have you seen all the articles on dihydrogen monoxide?
Yes. Oh my god.
People asking like innocent smoothies, do your drinks contain dihydrogen monoxide? And they're like, well, dihydrogen monoxide is water, so yes. You know, scientific works are scary, but they're not always bad.
Yeah.
And it goes with vaping. Like, I could talk someone's ear off about vaping, make it sound very, very complicated and very, very scary, when it can actually be simplified. But if you simplify it too much, or people only see simplified information and then they see something complicated and scary, they're going to be put off by it.
I think the problem is that we don't often take into consideration people's capacity to learn.
No.
So when I sit there and I go through a load of information with someone, I'm presuming they're listening. I'm presuming they're picking it up, and I'm presuming that they understand what I'm saying. When someone's nodding and saying, yeah, sounds good, it doesn't necessarily mean they've understood a word that I've said. So I think the problem is that we're all on a sort of, I would like to say, equally intellectual level. So any type of conversation that I have with you, I'm presuming that you will understand. But the fact of the matter is that Mark knows a hell of a lot more about computers than I do. And sometimes when he says to me, oh, you need to plug this into this, and you need to download this and go and do this, I don't understand, and I have to ask for clarity. But then there's other times where I'm asking him to help me do something, and he's saying, do this, do this, do it. I'm like, I've done that 10 minutes ago, Mark. I need this bit done now. Because he doesn't know what level I am at when it comes to that sort of technology.
Yeah.
And the same goes with vaping. And I think the problem is that 90%, 95% of vapors are middle-aged to older people that just want to give up smoking. They don't want to learn how to do this or do that or do this. And actually, taking the tank off, taking the bottom off the tank and filling it up with liquid is a lot of effort for someone. All they have to do is open up a pack and light a fag.
It wasn't wasted then. At least 2 people got it.
What?
When you said most people just sit there, you'll sit there and nod at me, I went,
cock.
Now, you do make a very valid point, though, but I have found to a certain degree, I find a lot of people, they want something out of it, right? So I'll get a bloke that, say, 50 years smoking, wants to give up smoking, his mate's had this, he wants to use this. Then I actually show them what they want, and the disinterest starts to build. It's too complicated. They don't want that, they don't want this, they want that. And if you want certain things out of it, you're going to have to learn how to use it. You know,
But
this is why...
it's back to the consumerism side of things again.
Yeah.
I needed a car to get me from one place to another place. But when I'm picking a car, I'm not going to pick a car that will get me from one place to another place. I'm going to pick a car that will get me from one place to another place, but will play music that I want it to play, and will display the things I want it to display, and will go get to a certain speed in a certain time that I want it to get to, and I'll, you know what I mean? So it's never that simple for anyone, except for actually a lot of the time people want whatever they've seen, and when they realise that actually what they've seen involves a lot of effort, it becomes a problem for them.
Yeah, of course it does.
Hence the popularity of these AirPod systems.
Exactly.
To be honest, I think these are what vaping should be.
Isn't it mad, though, that stuff had to get so stupidly complicated before it got simple again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think,
But I think that's the whole concept. That's the whole hobbyist side of things.
yeah.
You know,
People like to feel like they have to do something, don't they?
At its boom, shall we say? No, because vaping's probably just at the tip of its boom. But you know, you go back to the sub-tank days. You go back to the aero tank days. You know, the most complicated part of it was screwing a coil in.
Yeah. And actually,
what I mean?
it's got a big, massive circle, because in the struggle for innovation, there becomes complexity. And the fact is that actually, what used to be a very simple thing, a salad, for example, when you went to your nan's house on a Sunday and you had a salad, there was lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and onion if you're lucky. That's your salad. You have a fucking salad, you go home. Now you have quinoa and avocado and fucking this and that and this and that. It's a complex thing, but it's what's required in order to get that, drum that interest back up again.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Temperature control was invented just to make something new and interesting. Doesn't
And to
actually
be
work.
honest,
Just to make things complicated.
Exactly,
Well,
but it was innovative.
yeah, absolutely. I think the thing is, yeah, I think in the struggle for innovation, it sort of added too much unnecessary bullshit. But I think the thing is as well, a lot of the times you need to have something in order to be involved in something. So vapors weren't going to have this hobbyist side if all that was involved was collecting. There are people that collect all sorts of stuff. I do it myself. I'm a hoarder of all sorts of random shit.
I see where this is going, Chris. I see where this is going.
Anyway,
I like it. I like it.
The fact of the matter is, I collect all sorts of shit. I've collected a lot of stuff over the years. But if there's nothing else you can do with it apart from collect it, then it's not really very interesting. Oh, God, put that hat back on. But do you know what I mean? With vaping, when you're building, when you're trying out all these new builds, you're trying out all these new coils, you're trying out all these different juices, if the only thing that was out there was CE4s, and the only flavour out there was tobacco, you wouldn't have more than one. You might have two batteries, but you wouldn't have more than one because you wouldn't need more than one. And the fact is that this innovation, whilst a lot of it is bullshit, it spurred us into buying it to see whether it works and to see whether it's good and to see whether it is quirky. And do you know what I mean? That Voopoo drag.
Smok's business plan right there.
Yeah, what's that thing of a Voopoo drag?
Yeah.
The name sounds shit. That like the company name Voopoo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? that alone would make me not want to buy it.
Yeah.
But it's a nice shape. It's a nice colour. The doors are a bit fancy.
And the
feel-
chips
funny
are,
thing-
and the chips
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, don't tell Tony B that though. The thing was, right, that was amazing for them, all that popularity, because it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad news. That was visibility for them, right? So, I mean, it worked for them both ways. And let's
All
be
press.
honest, yeah, all press is good press, exactly. So, you know, but that's actually one of the best sort of beta mods I've ever owned.
So yeah, segueing into collections, we were discussing earlier something. We went with a bit of a nostalgic discussion, but we were talking about things we used to collect before we collected vaping shit.
Good. Obviously, vaping is very much. Why do I look at the chat when I'm addressing viewers? I look at the camera. We're all collectors. We all seem to be of a similar breed, vapors, don't we? We all seem to be OCD in some sort of way. We all seem to collect stuff. We all seem to be obsessive.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think you need to be a. I thought it said I was order 1000 on the Jeffrey's Vintage Vape page. Not, I'm 1002.
Nice.
So, I think the people that collect vape gear have a collective personality. Is that a word?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
What do you used to collect then? Give us like 2 things.
I do things. Actually, I'm just making a picture to my computer so I can share it. What about you? What do you used to collect? How old are you? And then we'll guess what you used to collect based on your age.
Okay, so I'm 27.
Pokemon.
Definitely Pokemon. Probably.
When I was really young, I was probably 6 or 7. Yeah. Pokemon
I guarantee you liked Beyblade at one point.
Did you have them slammers?
Actually. No, not slammers either.
You didn't have pops?
I had them, but it wasn't a collector of them as such. Now my main big collection's probably in the last, like, I'd say 20
Magic
years.
the
So
Gathering.
Say again?
Magic the Gathering.
No.
No?
And I was never into Magic. Not until recently. Never really into Magic. Vinyl. I've got a big vinyl collection.
Oh, that's handy because I've got a vinyl player and I've got none to play on it.
Ah, see. Yeah, there we go. Vintage microphones, which is a weird thing to collect, but I used to collect vintage microphones. Did you ever see like a band will do like a tour and they'll get an artist to create them a unique gig poster?
Yeah.
If there's any, yeah, I used to collect those as well.
So I follow an artist, graphic designer artist called Sam Hales.
Yeah.
You know who he is?
I've heard the name. I don't know any of his work to know it though.
He did he did a lot of Skin Dread cover art and stuff like that.
Okay.
He does a lot of cool stuff. But he designs playing cards, and I actually collect playing cards.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get a picture up. There we go. Screen share. So this is just, I've got a couple of cases like this, but this is one of them.
Ooh. Bloody hell.
So yeah, this is a load of playing cards. Some of them are expensive. Like these ones are very, very cheap. I got them to make this out of. Oh, you can't see some screen share. I'll show you in a second. I bought them because they were cheap and I didn't mind cutting them up. These are like the standard. But yeah, I mean, I've got probably about 1,000-ish decks.
Bloody hell.
Maybe more. I collected vaping stuff for a long time. Yeah, I got it to actually make this. This is why I bought the cheap cards.
I like that. That's fun.
What is it?
It's a ball of playing cards inside a ball of playing cards.
Oh,
But
random.
yeah, I mean, I collect all sorts of shit. I've got like a collection of
Action figures.
toys and like odd posters. I collect a lot of stuff. I used to collect clipper lighters. It's a bit shit when I gave up smoking. I used to have about 800 maybe clipper lighters. I collect knives.
Clipper or Zippo?
Clipper. Hey, I've got one here.
That is the most random.
See, I collect a lot of video game memorabilia, but old stuff. So I've got the full set of Game Boys, like every one. From the original grey brick right through to the colour, the mini, the nano, the clear.
Have you got one of each colour?
No, I haven't got one of each colour, but just one of each version. I've got like unique special editions and stuff. So
my brother-in-law has got one of every console ever released up until now.
That's disgusting.
He's got 2 Wonder Swans.
Wow.
He's got fucking what's the wooden one?
Oh, the
Atari 7200, is it?
Yeah. I was gonna say it was an Atari.
I thought I was good with a Neo Geo.
He's got a Neo Geo and a Neo Geo Pocket.
Nice.
He's honestly
remember the N-Gage, that phone that was also a game.
Yeah. It looked like a Cornish pasty.
Yeah, but it was apparently also a phone.
Yeah.
And we thought that was ridiculous, and yet how many smartphones are around now?
Yeah, I mean, I collect stuff. I collect knives. I've got quite a collection of knives. Got just some lying about.
KFC buckets.
Don't steal other people's jokes, Mark. It doesn't suit you.
Oh, you just didn't respond, so.
Oh yeah, I ignore morons. So like, yeah. Yeah, I collect all sorts of stuff really. Over the years,
You see, I was never really a collector. The only thing that I ever had a reasonable collection of was empty beer bottles.
Yeah, that's only because you couldn't be asked to tidy your room up, you can't.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
You still collect them now.
Hang on, yeah, Lindsay's saying I still collect them now.
Yeah, I've got
But
all
no,
sorts.
I'm one of those people, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. Hang on, let me rephrase that. If it's worth doing, it's worth abusing.
2600.
Atari 2600.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always liked collecting stuff, but as a kid, I didn't really have any money. So the problem is now, as an adult, that I've got money, I buy a load of shit. Yeah, I buy a load of shit that I don't need. I always wanted as a kid, but I could never afford. But I remember as a kid, I never really, when I was really young, I wasn't into football, but I couldn't afford Pokemon cards, and there was a load of kids that weren't all the cool kids, but they could afford. They were collecting football cards. So I started collecting football cards because I couldn't afford Pokemon cards. And the fact is, I didn't really even like football much then. Well, I've always had a sort of collect. I don't know what I don't know what the term is. I don't know, but I like Batman stuff as well. I've got a lot of Batman stuff. I collected a lot of comic books over the years. I cut a lot of them up to make my walls out of.
Nice.
I've got every Nirvana album ever made, including like very rare collectors ones. I'm a very big Nirvana fan, but I don't really collect a lot of stuff. I just have. I like Batman stuff. Buy a lot of Batman stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did collect the Walking Dead graphic novels for a little while. But then I stopped collecting them. It's not really a collection if you don't carry on collecting, is it?
No. I used to collect... my vinyl was Led Zeppelin first pressings and original Blue Note recordings and jazz specifically.
I had... sorry, go on.
A bit weird. No, it was just a bit weird that was specifically my vinyl collection. But it still made up like 500 or 600 vinyls.
Fucking hell. See, I used to have a collection of vinyls my brother gave me. Well, they were sort of inherited when my mum kicked my brother out. He had some Technic 1210 Mark IIs, some like gold-plated ones, really, really nice. which were left in our loft, and he had a shitload of techno vinyl. So I kept going up and taking them and putting them in my room and playing stuff and that. And then he come back one day in a rage, took all his shit and left. And I was left with this huge stack of vinyl I'd slowly siphoned out of his collection. But I don't know what happened to all that. It was fucking years ago. But yeah, I had an original copy of Made in Japan. You familiar with this?
Made in Japan?
Not Made in Japan, Made in Japan.
Oh,
Very,
right.
very, very rare Iron Maiden vinyl with a live tour in Japan. I think I sold that for like 600 quid.
Nice. See, I've got a couple of very rare Led Zeppelin bootlegs. So, for example, Led Zeppelin 4, across 2 vinyls, one's red, one's white, but the case is from a first pressing. It's like a super unique bundle that someone's put together. All sorts of random stuff I've picked up. Luckily, I actually inherited a lot of my dad's collection, and he bought all those albums when they first came out. So they were all originals, they were all first pressings. But I was militant with making. I would check the matrix codes, I would check the producer prints. I was militant with making sure that they were authentic and unique.
Actually, one of those episodes on A Dark Tourist, he visits a museum near Wales.
Oh, I want to go there.
Oh, it looks incredible. It's like the most fucked up museum you could ever imagine. It's just the fact that so much of that shit has been really like used in killings and used by serial killers and stuff.
Well, there was a spade, right? There was like this shovel, and the little plaque said next to it, undoubtedly used in digging up a body. It's like, it probably might have been, maybe, but undoubtedly this shovel was near a body, so it was used for digging that up. That's what that says to me. I love that.
Yeah. So I'd like to ask chat, what things did you guys collect when you were kids?
I'll be back in 2 moments.
No, you cannot. You're not allowed to leave. If you leave me now... Oh, cunt.
So we've got
what?
Thriller LPs.
No, he's got the original Thriller LP. Doesn't mean he collects them.
Oh.
How could you want more than sort of the original or maybe a re-released press of Thriller? No one's going to want 58 copies of the same album.
No.
So you never really collected anything, Mark?
No, for me it was very much, if anything's worth doing, it's worth doing properly. So if I got into something, I'd go balls deep.
Like Lindsay.
Well, yeah.
You were into her for a while, weren't you?
A little while. You can go off things very quickly. Oh!
Every time Rev James Morley, the old Reverend, every time he speaks, I doubt more and more that he's a Reverend. Collects Iron Maiden albums.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, surely, like, all my experiences of going to church as a kid and stuff, it was kind of frowned upon if you were listening to that sort of music.
If you were screaming, bring your daughter to the slaughter.
Yeah.
So what have we got? Pogs. Pogs. Warhammer. I did do Warhammer for a while.
Yeah,
Pokemon
I did Warhammer.
cards.
That was fun.
I was a 40k guy.
Yeah. Space
I
Marines.
like my Space Marines and my Orcs.
What about Chaos Marines?
No,
I never got
a
into
big fan.
Warhammer.
They were too complicated to paint.
Yeah, I'll give you that. What about the Tau? Do you remember the Tau?
No, that was past me.
Is there anything that you used to want to really collect but you could never afford or never find or never get?
Porn.
And then the internet came out in 1990. The world
Yeah, but not for
changed.
porn.
Now, in 1998, you could get porn.
You're not on
When you get-
dial-up when your mum wants to use the phone.
Yeah, you could. It just, you got a bit of thigh, like a bit of knee, bit of thigh, bit more thigh, bit more thigh, bit more thigh. The tiniest bit of bush, you've come, and then you just turn it off.
Yeah, trainers. So Subhome Soldier said trainers. I know a dude that collects trainers. He's got like 8 grand's worth of trainers, right? And
Is that a collection this day and age, though? Because you can pay $5 grand for a fucking pair of Trainers.
This dude has got. I mean, this guy owns most of like Foot Locker, so yeah.
I used to collect. I never collected trainers. I used to have a lot though. I think about 60 pairs. I just bought them because I had nothing else to buy.
Well, that's
And I
a
like
horrible, horrible slight.
But they none of them were really expensive or exclusive or anything good.
What trainers?
Yeah, I've had some
Well-
expensive trainers, but none of the ones in that 60 pair collection were anything that were to write home about.
You see, for me, we were never well off, and I used to brand High Tech and Adidas if I was lucky.
Yes, lucky. I used to get
Paragola every now and again.
Kappa, but they were
Yeah.
definitely snides. There was a dodgy Provident bloke who lent my mum money, and he used to have them at the back of his van. Definitely fake.
No, for me, the things I went balls deep on: fishing.
I did a little bit, but not a lot.
I did carp fishing and went balls deep. Very balls deep.
In a carp.
In a carp, yeah. You've seen that video, right? That was me.
Yeah.
Giraffe tries to mate with carp. Yeah, I've seen
Exactly. What else did I do that I went balls deep into? Photography. That was one of my big passions.
that. That's expensive.
Very, very, very expensive.
You
In
were a
fact-
professional photographer. I don't think that counts as a hobby, is it?
Of course it does. It started off as a hobby. In fact, my photography equipment actually started Vape Ascot.
What, selling it?
Yep.
Wow.
I didn't have a bad collection.
Is there anything as a kid that you wanted to have but you couldn't afford? Like, what would your dream thing to own be? I think for me, I always wanted a drum kit, but my mum would never let me and couldn't afford to, even if she wanted to. Never get a drum kit, and I really wanted a paintball gun, but I didn't realise that you had to have gas. And that now, as an adult, knowing about paintball guns, I'm not that interested. But as a kid, I really wanted a fucking paintball gun.
I was Canon, death to Nikon. I was Canon, and I'm guessing you're a Nikon man because you spelt Canon wrong. For me, it was a Mr. Frosty. How sad is that?
I
was never allowed one.
I got one of them, but it was a snide one, and it was essentially a cheese grater inside inside what looked like a melted snowman.
That's more than I got.
I think for me, does anyone remember them weird boots that you wear that strap around your knees and then you can jump over cars and shit?
Moon boots.
Kind of, but like really extreme ones.
Had they got like metal bouncy things on the bottom?
Yeah, like
Basically
a big
pogo
arc
stick.
of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, really wanted them. They were like 400 quid, and I definitely wasn't allowed one. I think I was about 12 when they came out.
I always wanted a really expensive Diabolo.
Oh, well, what?
You know, the things that look like egg timers on string.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You see,
Never
I missed
allowed.
all this. I was born in the 70s.
I got love for you if you were born. Oh, you weren't. Can't fuck off.
So basically, you had to play with like striking bin men and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Basically, when Mark was a kid, he had one toy and it was a stick, and he had to share it with the neighbours.
Exactly. But I had to stick my stick through the hole in the fence, and that's another story.
We don't know what you and your uncle got up to. Did any of you remember doing this as a kid? When you're playing out with your mates in the den? Did you have a den? Everyone had a den.
Yeah, that's where we used to store porn.
Yeah, like a big bush that no one ever.
Yeah,
that you
a
could
bush
get
with a
into
hole
for
in
a
it.
stick. Yeah. And do you ever remember when you were like warding people away from it? Everyone had to take guard, and you'd have like a white dog shit on a stick. And you had to chase other kids away with this white dog shit on a stick.
Did we speak about white dog shit the other week on the show? Because it's fresh in my head, and I can't recall who I'd talk about white.
White Mark. No, I don't think we have. But where is the white dog shit? I've not seen a white dog shit for years.
Dogs
Dogs
don't eat
as many
bones.
bones anymore. Yeah.
Was that from eating bones?
Yeah. It's calcium.
See, what happened to white bird shit as well? Because all the birds that seem to shit on my car is a big. Looks like someone slapped Weetabix up the bonnet.
That must be a Scottish thing because it's nice and white here.
Yeah, see, I live on the seafront, so it's just seagulls.
Yeah, I live right by the sea, and the seagulls are bigger than fucking Alsatians, mate.
Oh my god. Bill has just said my teddy bear had a hole in it, and mine did as well. And it was right in between its legs, and it wasn't me.
Do you remember Scare Bears?
Invisible Man.
Yeah.
No.
We used to like pull their mouths over, and they had teeth inside, and they pull their paws over, and they had claws inside.
Is that like the thing you bought your son at Christmas that made him cry?
It's like the original one of them. I bought one of those fucking little like smiling animals, and you squeeze their head, and the fangs come out, and the eyebrows turn in. Like,
that reminds me of them bad news bears, where it was like cute-looking bears, but they were having sex with each other or something. Or one of them was like a gimp.
No.
Bad News Bears was a fucking shit film about baseball.
Bad Taste Bears.
Bad taste bears, that's it.
We used to collect those. And apparently that one looks like me. That's the only reason we have it still.
From the waist down, it looks like.
Well, yeah, because his one arm fell off, so
I've
obviously got 2 arms.
But,
So-
yeah, back to what we were talking about. So, Mark, you collected camera stuff.
Yep.
Cash, you collected weird stuff.
Weird stuff. Mostly audio stuff.
Chris,
yeah,
you collected
you're a sound
even...
engineer, though, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Like
I studied it pretty...
Mark was a photographer and collected photography stuff. You were a sound engineer and collect sound equipment. I am a fat bloke in a shed and I collect playing cards. Actually, no, I do magic, actually. There is a relevance to it. I do card magic.
Okay. That's something I've always wanted to be able to do.
I used to do like corporate events, and weddings, and yeah, I'm still pretty nifty with a deck of cards, but I don't really do it that much. But actually, there is relevance. I think there is relevance. We all collected Pokemon cards because we watched Pokemon the TV series. Yeah, I suppose there is relevance to what you collect. You don't just collect shit you don't like, do you? I like Batman. I got Batman shit. I like playing cards. I got playing card shit.
Exactly.
I like whores. I've got a basement. Anyway.
Would you ever open all of your card collection up and just mix them up?
Do you know what? I've actually got a deck of cards, right, that I ordered off eBay.
Just
Some
one.
bloke had advertised. He'd advertised to me. You know what? I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to tell you the story behind this. You carry on talking amongst yourselves.
Sliding things slightly back in the direction of vaping. Because I feel like the tangent is real. I've forgotten the point I was going to make. No. Okay. Look, I'm going to ask a question, and chat can answer this as well, I guess, maybe. What is the best thing in vaping you've seen this week? Just one thing.
The best thing?
The best thing in vaping you've seen this week.
Ooh.
Oh.
My bank account after Fest.
Oh, yeah. I think I could say the same, because mine wasn't as low as it could have been.
The best thing I've seen this week? That's a hard one.
I'll tell you what, I've got an answer. And actually, it was a mate of mine put me onto it. It's the new Squid Industries detonator. Single 21700 regulated mod. Looks a bit like a detonator. Absolutely stunning mod.
You know what? I've seen that come up on a feed. Yeah. Looking at it now, it's the one with the big trigger.
It's kind of got a little clicky trigger on the front of it, but not like the Smock Mag does. And then it's got this weird raised section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has anyone in chat seen what I'm on about, or am I just talking complete bollocks?
Shall we shove a picture up just so people can see what we mean? Shove it in there. Damn it! Why does everything go so big?
That's the yeah, that's the one.
On the preview section, Mark. So when you click on what it is you're trying to show,
Yeah.
Where it says source and it'll say mask, whatever, blah blah blah. There's a section that shows you what the preview looks like. So, like, if I want to put this on, and make sure it fills the screen.
I don't have that.
Wait, I completely missed that.
No idea. But there we go.
Oh, you've done it?
Now we're back to that.
It's like, it looks a bit like a Minikin V2.
It's
I think it looks
single.
a little bit like the oh shit! What was that mod that came out? They came out in like baby green. And it had a
RX2.
single No, nah, ignore me. I'll remember it another time. It looks
Yeah,
a
this
little
is
bit like that though.
It's a lovely box of Chandler's with me. So I've got this deck in here. So I bought this off eBay, and the bloke told me that this deck of cards was made up from cards from 52 different decks of cards. So I thought, oh, brilliant. He's taken like ace of hearts from one, two of hearts from another, three of hearts from another, four of hearts from another, and made a whole deck of cards out of all these different cards. So I thought, brilliant. So I opened it up and I thought, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Looks pretty good to me. Some madness here. And then I looked at the fucking faces. Oh wait, the wrong way. You're not going to be able to see that. That would help, Christopher.
They're not just all the same, they're all the shittest one.
It's a whole deck.
Of the Jack of Spades.
Jack of clubs, you fucking moron.
Sort of like spades to me. Yeah, clubs.
The fuck is that all about? A whole deck of Jack of clubs. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, some of them got really nice fronts.
Yeah.
I mean, others have got really nice backs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of good because I don't take any of my collection out of their packets. Some of these decks I actually have the whole deck of. Actually, a lot of them. But I've never actually felt them to feel like what the card quality is like. I've not looked at the design. Like, this one's pretty nice.
So essentially you have a collection of really nice boxes.
Yeah, essentially. Like, that one's pretty cool.
I like that one. That's pretty sick.
But some of them are fucking... Like, a lot of them, when they're made by Bicycle, you get... Like, it costs you like $1 more if you add... like a custom face. So, like, as you'll see... Oh, shit. Some of these have got, like, really different backs. That one's pretty unique. That one's pretty unique. That one's pretty unique.
How much did you pay for these, Chris?
Oh, like 14 quid or something.
And what's
So
what's a deck of cards usually cost?
Anywhere from sort of 12, 10, 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Depends on where.
Expensive.
I've got one that's worth about 400 quid, I'd say. It's a very first edition from a closed casino in Las Vegas. So, yeah, I mean, all these backs are pretty unique, right? But then if you look at the faces, oh, you can't really stand that. They're all like varying degrees of exactly the same face. I've got a fan blowing next to me, and it's fucking blowing them everywhere. But like, as you'll see, like, all these backs are different, but all the faces are much and such exactly the same.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
So, yeah, it kind of annoys me a little bit. Then you get some that are like This one's from an alchemy deck, which is like a. These ones are relatively cheap. You can buy them like Amazon for about £5, but the back's pretty cool.
That's sick.
The faces are all unique.
Has anyone been watching Instagram this week, specifically the Americans?
That's a vague statement.
Yeah, very, very vague. I was going to say, Instagram's a big place, mate.
There's 51 pissed off people in the world with a card missing.
I know what. There's going to be fucking 51 pissed off people that have bought a deck, presuming the same thing I presumed, and then all having the 2 of hearts or all having the 4 of diamonds.
Imagine if you got like the 3 of spades. Like that'd be really depressing.
Yeah, I mean the thing is as well, he's given me one of the decks out of the 52 he's fucked up. Give me that box at random. And the limited edition series. So this is probably one of. They usually do like one of 1,000. Right, this pisses me off as well. Limited edition series, and on the back it says Series 2.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it fucking annoys me, man. People are idiots.
Warning banners. I keep seeing pictures with these warning banners across them. What the fuck's that about?
The warning statements.
Do they have to put them on their Instagram images now?
I thought it was.
That was my question to you guys. Obviously this is Vape Talk UK and not Vape Talk Yank. But
or is it just a meme?
No. It's genuine. It's genuine.
I genuinely thought it was a joke. Like a lot of people had done it. It was funny because they were.
I know. As of the 10th of August this year, tobacco products regulated by the deeming final rule, the FDA has provided a compliance period for certain labelling and advertising requirements. The FDA has provided a compliance date of August the 10th, 2018 for required health warning statements on packaging and advertisements for covered tobacco products, except cigars and pipe tobaccos.
What do they define as advertisement? Taking a picture of something and putting it on Instagram?
It's an advert.
Is it?
Is that person being paid or being given free juice to take photos of it and put it online?
In that case, yes, it would be. But if I'd bought a mod and then I bought a bottle of juice and I took a picture of it, that's not an ad.
You see, I think the Americans have got it right. I think whilst they're bitching and complaining, I'm not sure if we've got. See,
I don't remember having a bottle of liquid from the States in the last 3 years. It didn't have that Proposition 65 on the side.
No,
yeah,
I know.
Fruit's got that on the side of it in the States.
I'm not sure if Andrew's still watching, but I know he's American. I know I've seen it on posts advertising, e-liquid, but I've not seen it on mods as of yet. So I think they've got it right by looking at a mod and going, you know what, a mod's not a tobacco product. I know they have to go through testing, and Chris will verify all this. You have to go through the FDA.
Can't contain liquid, so it doesn't come under it.
It's FDA registration. You have to register it as a product. But what fucks me off is that all of this stuff saying this product contains nicotine. It's on everything. Like even Aspire do it on that Sprite. I bought a couple of them on the package. It says, "Warning: this product contains nicotine," and it doesn't contain nicotine.
Print? Are you reading the fine print above it? It says, when combined with a nicotine-containing e-liquid, this warning applies.
You're about my underpants. I've spilled fucking more nicotine on them than I have on an empty fucking box.
Chris, you need to stop wanking with e-liquid.
Yeah,
it's
good
not
lube.
a lube.
Good lube.
Andrew, maybe you can fill us in. He's still here. On Instagram this week, we've seen a lot of... I don't know whether it's tongue-in-cheek, whether it's piss take or what, but a lot of American photographs of e-liquid specifically showing warning statements for tobacco products. I didn't know if that was a genuine thing or an absolute piss take. Obviously, we over here, has anyone got a 10ml bottle with a warning statement on? If not, here we go.
Here we go.
So, yeah, there we go. So over here, it has to cover a third of the packaging, but only if there's nicotine in the product. I know we did originally on our short fills, we did put them on, but again there's a star there to say only when unopened this product does not contain nicotine. However, it can be used in conjunction with a nicotine shot. If open, please exercise caution as the product may contain nicotine. Please refer to the nicotine shot label for more information. And Andrew's not heard anything about it. So
did you hear on Instagram though they changed their terms and conditions, and basically they try to get everyone who's doing a promoted photo that the first hashtag has to say #ad, or they run the risk of their profile being removed.
Now, what? Again, you questioned this earlier, Cass, but what constitutes
Caspian?
Caspian.
Indeed.
Your parents like Lion the Witch and Wardrobe?
They like C.S. Lewis in general, but yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, go on, Mark.
I can't remember what I was saying now.
Adverts.
Sorry.
I asked this earlier. So I said about the #ad thing.
Yeah, what constitutes an ad?
I think if you're being given a product, or you're given a reduction on buying a product specifically for the use of taking a photo and putting it online, that counts as an advertisement. You know, we've probably all done it at some point. And I think, yeah, okay, you'd like to know, and I don't necessarily think it applies to vaping so much, but if you've got someone saying, I drink this tea, it makes me lose weight, people want to know whether that's an actual user or whether that's someone advertising it, because suddenly people will take a very different view of, you've been given this product to tell me it works, or you've bought this product and it actually works. And I think that's the important thing. The thing with nicotine, it's a case, or not nicotine, the thing with e-liquid is a case of, it looks cool, I'll try it, I won't try it, it makes no difference to me. But there are products out there where you need to define whether it is an advert or not an advert, because that can massively change the agenda of the person using it. I mean, promoting products for vape companies doesn't really hurt anyone if someone buys it and doesn't like it, right? If someone goes out and spends thousands of dollars on weight loss tea or some detox bullshit and it doesn't work, or it harms them, or it's not tested, then that can necessarily do someone some damage. I think that makes a big difference as to the reason behind promoting that product. You get a lot of these celebrities going, oh yeah, so I did this detox tea for 2 months and now I've lost 300 pounds. If people think that that's actually a real customer, I mean, what do we think clickbait advertising has been relying on for decades?
You probably would lose £300 if you wasted £300 on fucking detox tea.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you ever go on a website and it's like the amazing cure that doctors don't want you to find out about, and it's like an advert at the bottom.
So what really fucks me off in clickbait, right, is when you see a picture and you're really intrigued by it, and then you go through 31 pages because for some reason they have to put each image on a different fucking page to get more traffic, and then you get to fucking image 31 of 31, and the original picture in the post wasn't even in it.
No.
The fuck's that all about?
I mean, answering Sub-Ohm Soldier, the whole FDA is only applicable to Americans. Instagram is hosted in America, therefore it's applicable to all of Instagram, no matter where you are.
It'd be interesting to see what usage of #ad, and I'm actually going to look. Just hashtag AD.
Yeah. I think it's important. I mean, oh, it's all, you're frozen up for a second there.
Yeah, everyone went.
Everyone went a bit weird. YouTube now make you say whether it's a paid promotion or not in a video. And I think that's important to know whether the people that are reviewing a product or talking about a product are being paid to have it in there, because that massively affects their agenda.
If you go, I don't know. Don't worry, don't ignore me.
You froze up a second there. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I was just saying ignore me, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I'm struggling to find AD.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It just never took off.
How are they going
what
to
was the
police it?
point?
In all seriousness, how the fuck are they going to police it?
Right.
Probably-
Let's say.
I don't know.
Let's say, for example, I send out 500 bottles of Jeffries a month to our promotional team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know they vape it. I know they like it. If they didn't like it, then they wouldn't be on the team. But how does anyone know? Because they probably would buy it anyway. How do we know that who's genuine and who's not? Who's advertising and who's genuinely putting up a photo to say, woohoo, look at this, I like it?
I think you have to have something comparable. You have to have context. Look, I'll use myself as an example, right? So I won't lie, I do get sent things for free to review, right? Now, I had a conversation with one of the guys that have just sent me juice. They said, you know what, we appreciate the honesty. A lot of people would have said they loved all the juice just to save face. And I think if you've got a record, a contextual record of being honest and actually saying, I like this, I don't like this, actually I like this, and I think if you've got a little bit of track record of actually not being the yes man, I think that makes you a lot more trustworthy. And that doesn't mean just say you don't like something every now and then, because I think people are far more intelligent and can see straight through that. But I think if you just look at someone's posts and it's all one mod or all one juice, you're going to go, well, this person clearly likes it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's any good. But if you've got a bit of context...
Or they're an evangelist.
Exactly. But if you've got context, they're putting up, I don't know, 10 different mods, but 5 of those mods are this particular one. 5 of those photos are this particular mod. And you can see a bit of balance. You can see, well, actually, they seem to like mechs more, or they seem to like custard flavours more. Then you can kind of go on their basis, you know? I'm quite happy to tell, I'm the first person to tell someone when I don't like something. I think if you're going to tell someone why you do like something, it's actually harder to justify it.
Did you try our juice at Fest?
I didn't, no.
Right, I'll send you a review box out.
Don't hold him to that. Just
no,
fuck.
I didn't try it.
In order to get the free stuff he's been promising me for 6 months.
And I did genuinely get an order from Chris.
I'm fed up of waiting. I'll send it out.
Look, he paid a whole £13.50 for that. Oh no, sorry.
Oh.
Just give everyone my email address, it's fine, mate.
No, GDPR, I'll get shot for that, won't I?
Oh, I'm reporting you! Yeah. I feel an inquest coming along.
Did anyone think that the GDPR was a wonderful way to get rid of all of those subscriptions that you'd forgotten you'd sub to?
I did, but at the same time, I got 99% of the companies I'd ever subbed to that hadn't emailed me for about 6 months. Email me to tell me about the GDPR. And I went and sat for a fucking 6-hour GDPR ceremony.
Seminar.
In order to know exactly what had to be done in order to become GDPR compliant. So I then had to siphon through all of this bullshit to decide whether I needed to opt out or opt in. And some of them were saying, tick this box to no longer receive messages. And some of them were saying, tick this box to still receive messages. And then because I had 7,500 of the cunts, I eventually I stopped ticking boxes, and some left me in, and some did take me out. So I still receive bullshit emails every day.
Yeah. But going back to like credibility, if a new account pops up, say on Instagram, and it's just posting one thing, I don't think there's any credibility there at all. No. And I think you have to build that up. I've been building it up for 2 years.
How many followers?
On Instagram or YouTube?
Instagram.
Instagram's like 5,500, but I must have had over 10,000 that do the follow-unfollow thing. So they follow you, you follow them back, and then they immediately unfollow you. So I don't really care. I just put stuff out I like. But then this is like YouTube.
Which is why we don't do the follow-unfollow thing.
Exactly.
No. See, the thing is, I've not put up, probably put one post. Let me check my Instagram.
Like YouTube, I go a lot on if ever a company go, what are your YouTube stats, right? I'll say to them, well, I've got 45,000 views, 50,000 views, whatever. They go, well, how many subs have you got? And I said, it doesn't matter. I said 98% of my views come from non-subscribers.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen one reviewer, and his stats jumped up by 1,200 subs in a single day, but his view increased by 1 view. So one person of those 1,200 watched one video once, and yeah, a bit suspect. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've built up credibility, at least in the eyes of the industry, for giving honest reviews. So if someone just looked at all of my reviews for one company, they went, well, this guy's just promoting them. Put it in the context of my whole channel, and suddenly you've got something that's got a bit more gravitas to it.
See, I've got 5,000 followers, and I've posted twice this year. Twice since November last year.
How many followers?
5,000. So, I mean, they're not those people that follow unfollow, because clearly, you know what I mean, they're still following.
I'll be honest though, I've never really got the secret of social media in big numbers. Like, I do the videos because I like doing the videos. If
hashtags.
People like them, yeah.
Hashtags. I created a hashtag list, which were all relevant to everything I posted, but also I got a few like vape porn. They've got a huge following. They probably do still have a huge following, and they used to post a lot of my stuff. So that's why I got so many followers, really.
You got to be careful of Instagram's shadow banning now. If you post images with exactly the same hashtags in exactly the same order, they'll bury your photo. If it's got words like porn in it, if it's got words like love in it, they will bury it. And if it's very identical, they'll bury it. It's
a good thing I haven't posted. I've only posted twice this year, then, isn't it?
Well, there we go. I'll probably post twice a week, maybe, and some of it I'll get 300 likes, some of it I'll get 10. There's no way of doing it.
You see, ours are pretty consistent. Always use the same hashtags.
Hashtags?
Hashtags.
Hashtags.
Always use the same hashtags. And as the odd one, we'll get silly numbers on.
Yeah.
We'll get 400 likes. But then the average is, say, 200. But we always use the same hashtags.
Stop saying hashtags.
Okay, here's a question. Did you notice that your not your live viewership for VT UK, but your after recording viewership numbers dropped after the 21st of February this year?
I'd have to look at the analytics.
YouTube brought in a load of new rules that basically said you had to have 1,000 subs before you could monetize. You had to have 4,000 hours within the last 12 months before you could monetize, right? But also what they did is anyone that wasn't advertised, they buried it. And if someone didn't click the notification bell on your channel, they buried your subs. They buried your videos in that person's subscription feed and put up recommended videos rather than the ones you were actually subscribed to.
Right, guys, so anyone that's not, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscription bell, keep us going.
And that's it, exactly. And after that, I swear to God, and I looked at the stats, my view count, on average, per video, dropped by about 60%.
When was this? After
21st of February this year.
See,
we'll dig through this after the show.
Yeah, talking about Instagram, I don't think that even being reposted by big names particularly affected anything. Like I've got this post here. This was posted by Vape Porn, and it got somewhere around 800 likes.
Yeah.
But then this post got posted by Vape Porn and only got 170 something likes. Does that even focus it? Yeah.
See, what Instagram needs to do is come out with a proper way of regramming, because I get Element regram a lot of my photos, but there's no link back to my profile for the follows or the likes.
No.
It needs to be the Twitter, the Instagram equivalent of retweeting, let's say.
Yeah, see, I've used a couple of different apps to repost people's pictures, and some of them, they just stop working after a while.
Instagram doesn't like you regramming.
No, the software I'm on about.
Oh.
Yeah, software. They just stop. They adapt Instagram so that the software no longer works. But yeah, I mean, like this one actually, I don't know if you can tell this, but I photoshopped that. That's actually on my kitchen side, and I just put like a nice fresh meadow background on it.
Nice.
And that got what, 300 and something likes.
Yeah.
But then there's other posts that were complete dog shit.
My shitty hand checks get more likes than the ones I take time over.
Yeah, that's it. That's the problem. I spent fucking ages taking some of these pictures.
If you ever want to avoid throwing yourself off a cliff after looking at your YouTube stats, don't look at the YouTube viewer retention rates, because that is depressing.
I don't even look at any of the stats because I don't have the login details.
Nice. Well, you create a 25-minute beautifully crafted video, and you look at the stats. The average watch time is 2.5 minutes. It's depressing.
We'll do this after the show. I think we've about come to a natural end. I'm just about to pop. In fact, I'll do it now.
How many viewers have we got?
No idea. But I've put the link to the Google Hangouts in the chat. We'll all be hanging around for 10 minutes or so after the show if you want to pop in and say hello. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, Cass. You'll be joining us next week again, Cass?
What's the date next week?
Yes. 21st of August, and I may not be joining you because that is my birthday.
No, you'll be here, Chris. You'll be here.
Oh, I'll spend my birthday talking to you, Belen, shall I?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, if you invite me back next week, I will be here. If you invite me back for the 4th of September, I won't be.
Is this where we're supposed to ask? Why? Where are you going to be, man?
I've got a big old family barbecue to go to. It's going to be awesome.
You can just go live from the barbecue.
That would be incredible. On my phone.
So, yeah, have a guess how old do you think I'm going to be on my birthday?
53.
We're talking age, not stone.
34.
You fucking cheeky cunt. 28.
Chris is in his 20s. Would you believe that?
Yeah.
Time has not been kind.
Right, come on, let's go, because there's people already joining the Hangouts, and we're sitting here fucking still alive.
There's no one in the Hangouts yet, is there?
Wait, where are the Hangouts?
Oh, shit, yeah, loads of people in Hangouts. Okay, I shouldn't have clicked the link. Okay, folks, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week. What's the line? See you next Tuesday.
VTUK.